Hey everybody, Nerdy Transformed here again, and today I have the Generations Nightbeat. It actually looks pretty cool, and I've technically reviewed in the past with the Generations Goldfire, but there's quite a few differences between these two in more ways than you would think. So, just to get it out of the way, let's go ahead and get a comparison between these two. I'll talk about him more in a moment. Nightbeat, I don't know too much about his character. I just know he's like a detective, and it's kind of cool. And it's kind of cool to see a new figure of him finally. It's not the Transformers Club exclusive one that was a repaint of Energon Hotshot. This one is, of course, reusing the Goldfire mold, which was reusing the Bumblebee Deluxe mold. Which I do not have the Bumblebee because I don't care about having a Deluxe Bumblebee. I like having these guys as Deluxes, even though these guys should technically be the same size as Bumblebee. But I don't really care about that. So, you can see he has quite a bit of difference in decos. He has the flames on the sides. He has basically the same molding, but if you look very carefully, you can actually see the back windshield is painted with a very light crystal blue to kind of give it this. I think they're trying to make it kind of look like a window, which I can see what they're going for. Doesn't work perfectly. You really can only see it in person, but I'm sure in the video you can kind of see there is a difference between. This is like a bit shinier right here. So yeah, and of course he has the same weapon that Goldfire came with. This being Goldfire's and this being Nightbeat's. Although it's painted, because Goldfire's was just plastic, clear plastic on the end. This is actually has yellow plastic with blue paint on it. And once again, it's still like a bazooka, shotgun, energy blast kind of thing. I still like the look of it. I just don't think it really fits any of these guys. It really doesn't fit Bumblebee. It probably does actually kind of fit Goldfire. It really wouldn't fit Nightbeat style. I kind of expect Nightbeat to have like a pistol or something. Anyway, let's actually compare these two because there's actually quite a few differences in how they're overall done. Well, you can see from the front, their front deck goes basically the same. The only real difference, they both have the same black grille. They both have the silver headlights. The only difference is Nightbeat does have these yellow stripes around in the bottom there, so he does have a bit more paint. On the side, it's kind of the reverse. Goldfire definitely got a lot more paint, but Nightbeat's is a bit more interesting. So they're kind of balanced for paint because he has more paint on the side but less paint on the front. Nightbeat doesn't have any paint here, but he does have it on the front. Plus, with Goldfire, it's just a simple stripe going from here to here with some style to it. Nightbeat has one stripe down here, which, if they put some yellow here, would link up to here. But I think this joint right here is unpaintable plastic to make it sturdier. And of course, on either side, they have the flame deco tampoed there. And like I mentioned, Goldfire has no paint at all on the back, and Nightbeat has a little bit of paint right here. Another interesting thing is, I mentioned this in Goldfire's review, his paint, since his feet are actually blue and they're actually right here, the gold paint doesn't completely cover it. Well, Nightbeat, he has his feet basically in the same plastic. I think it's actually the sturdy plastic again, so it's slightly off color, but it's not as bad as the painted blue that Goldfire ended up having. And the backs are also interesting because with Goldfire, what it was is that the paint scheme, the actual spots where the colors are the same, but how it's actually done is completely different. Because with Goldfire, if you actually pop the piece open, you can see it's actually black plastic, which means what's painted here is the red headlights and the gold strip going along the back. But with Nightbeat, it's kind of the reverse because the whole thing is blue plastic, and so the bumper itself is just colored normally that way, with the. Because basically on Goldfire, it was this part in the middle that was painted, while with Nightbeat, it's this part here and the bottom part that's painted because the whole thing is blue plastic. So he has the headlights, the bumper in between the headlights, and then he has the exhaust ports painted instead. So it's the same color scheme but reversed because of which plastic was used for each figure. It's kind of interesting to see. And of course with Nightbeat, since his windows aren't as dark, you can actually see in there and see some of the robot kibble, but the colors of it matches pretty well. While with Goldfire, I basically give him blue windows just to have his blue somewhere on the vehicle mode. But yeah, they're both the same vehicle. Oh, another thing is that Nightbeat has his wheels painted. Goldfire just has those standard black wheels. Nightbeat actually got a little bit more budget, I guess, and got the wheels silver. So yeah, while his stripes are missing some yellow here, I'm much happier just to at least have the wheels painted. Especially since it's a nice metallic paint too. So yeah, that's those two. Let's go ahead and get Goldfire out of the way. So, it's still a standard thing of almost a Mustang, but just a bit different enough to not be a Mustang and not get sued. But yeah, it is pretty nice looking. Now we got all that talking out of the way. Transformation is exactly the same as Goldfire, but I'll show it again here anyway, just in case nobody saw my Goldfire review. You pull the bumper down, pull the doors out. I will say this toy is not as tight in the transformation department as Goldfire, and his joints overall are a little bit looser, but not loose enough to where he can't hold poses. So it's kind of just the right amount to where it's not hard to transform him, but still keeps his posability sturdy. Flip the backs out for legs. There is some clearance issues still, but they're still easier to work with than the Goldfire. Bring the feet back and flip them forward. If you want to see how it looks from the inside, you unclip it, flip it forward. And once again, he still has the fake tire kind of in here to make it look like the tire that's here is actually here. Alright, bring the camera up a little bit. Now you're going to split the front hood. And they'll come down. The sides of the hood will come down on hinges. Take this, bring it back. It'll sort of peg into there. Then the whole chest will come down the spine, basically his spine here. And will actually, unlike Goldfire, will actually clip in right. Then of course you're supposed to take these, put the doors back, take these, put the doors back, kind of give them the door wing look. Which really doesn't work for any of these three for me, but I guess I can kind of make sense with Bumblebee. And there is your Generations Nightbeat and Robot Mode. Alright, now we have Goldfire and Robot Mode with Nightbeat, so we can see the two side by side. You can see, once again, a complete color difference. They both have some of the same ideas, like their arms and legs are both matching each other, but the paint scheme overall is actually completely different, not just the colors, but where the paint goes. So you can see the yellow here, but you can see on Nightbeat, even though this is black plastic, they did paint it blue to match the panels on the side, while with Goldfire, they made it black and had gold on the side. They both have no paint on the legs or the crotch here, but, you know, they both have the molded headlights there. And thing is, Nightbeat's a lot sturdier, even though he came later in the line. Usually it's the other way around, where the figures that came earlier have better joints, and the later ones, because of plastic, just overall mold degrade, are the worst. But Goldfire here is very loose with in his legs and arms, while Nightbeat is still sort of loose, not nearly as bad. As you can see, the only piece that really moved was his leg, and even then, it's a lot sturdier. It actually has like plastic ratchets in his legs, which Goldfire has too, but they're not working all that well. I mean, you can see. Yeah, that. Whatever I just did there. Shh. Let's look at the head. Goldfire had more of a Optimus-like head. Nightbeat kind of has his own thing going on. He really does have the detective look with the shades, the antenna that could be like communicators or something. And once again, just like Goldfire, they have the spot here as if they were going to have clear plastic for light piping, but they just painted it over. And there's no clear, I don't think there's even any clear plastic in there. They just painted it to make it look like there's clear plastic through the light piping thing, but then just painted it over completely. It's almost like they're doing it just to have the retro look of having the clear plastic without actually having the clear plastic. Now for Goldfire, I didn't care for the wing look on either of these guys. So for Goldfire, what I did was kind of put his wings back like this, kind of folded up. For Nightbeat, I actually completely like to change the shoulders around. So I like to flatten these back out and actually have them with the arms. Because the original Nightbeat actually used the sides of his cars, the original G1 one at least, used the sides of his cars for as his arms basically. So this actually matches pretty close to what the original Nightbeat did. And I kind of like it. Kind of like with this here, and the back kibble, and then this, it kind of gives him a cloaked look. Maybe not quite as cloaked as Age of Extinction Hotshot here, but you can kind of see they both have the whole, you know, leather jacket cloak thing going on this way. And let's get Goldfire away since this comparison is finally done. So once again, it kind of has this look, the fake grill on the chest to make it look like the grill transformed there, and the fake headlights here. They do have the actual back headlights here, and then of course, like I mentioned, the fake wheels on the side of the feet. But his overall look is pretty good. He's mostly blue, with some black on the arms, hands, and legs, and then little spots of yellow and red. Mostly yellow, but like, you can see like lines of yellow here, here. The only new real paint is on the chest and the head, because all the other splotches of yellow and red are from the vehicle mode, just being reused. And the black color, much like with blue, how blue was for Goldfire, the black color is like completely introduced here because we didn't really see any black in the vehicle mode except for the tires. So it's not as drastic of a change as it was with Goldfire, where a completely new color takes up like an entire half of his colors in that robot mode, but it still looks pretty good. Articulation-wise, it's still the same thing. You gotta swivel at the head, you gotta swivel at the shoulder, it goes outward. You gotta swivel at the arm, you got elbow, nothing at the hands, nothing at the waist. Or no, wait, we do got waist articulation. I was wrong, we do have waist articulation. Ball joint at the leg, so it goes outward and forward, backward, all that other good stuff. Swivel. And of course it has that double knee thing where if you do this knee, it looks a little weird unless you push the bumper with it. So it kind of covers up the knee and actually makes it more natural looking. Then he has lots of foot articulation, so forward and back, and it's not as loose as it was on Goldfire, so it's actually usable. You do kind of have the swivel is actually, the joint for the swivel is like actually in here, so it does kind of come off as weird, but you can get like a stepping motion with it. If you can get him to stand. He can look like you just squashed a bug or something. Or you can just be ridiculous, whichever you prefer. And like I said, it's the same weapon as before. You could peg it to the side of the car mode, back in car mode. You can give it to him as a giant blaster of doom. I'm sorry if I sound really repetitive here, but I pretty much already reviewed this mold with Goldfire. I'm just kind of covering the new stuff. And like I mentioned, you can split these and kind of give them as swords. Here, we'll give him the sword look. I still kind of prefer the blaster just because, hey, he's a detective. I kind of see him using a blaster. I kind of wish to give him a pistol. The funny thing is on the comic book of Nightbeat, I don't have the comic book with me, but the comic book cover, it shows Nightbeat reusing the Jazz mold from Reveal the Shield, I believe. But here we have him reusing the Bumblebee / Goldfire mold from Generations. So it's actually kind of interesting. Also, this back kibble, I do like to unpeg a little bit and kind of have it more connected up here, just to kind of get out of the way a bit more, but then it falls back down. It really doesn't stay anywhere, it kind of just, it lays right against the back no matter what, so kind of just deal with that. And let's get one last good look at the head, which is a really nice head sculpt. This is probably my favorite Generations head sculpt. It just looks really cool. I can see this working for like a lot of, like if you want to make like a Generation version of the like Auto Troops from Animated, you could probably use this probably just use this figure period pretty well for it. And yeah, that's Nightbeat. Sorry if that was a little quick, but I've already done this mold before, and I just kind of wanted to show the differences between it and the Goldfire mold. And that's it. I really enjoyed this figure. I do like him a bit more than Goldfire, just because for me it's a character I know a little bit more about. And yeah, that's it. I'm Nerdy Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you go out and get this figure because he's actually pretty nice. And I'll see you again next week. Have a good day.